Hello, chip dippers and patrons. Well, just patrons, actually. Welcome to the next episode of Peri-phrastic, my patron exclusive vlog. And again, this week I'm going to be skipping a main video because, well, a few reasons. Firstly, I 2 weeks ago did that big Team 17 wrap-up video, and I announced the contest and the auction for those items. Firstly, my sincerest commiserations if you didn't win anything. I did launch it early to patrons and gave you guys double the amount of entries, so every entry that you made would count for twice as many. But for unknown reasons, the random randomizer didn't pick any patrons. So unless one of you used a different name or something, I'm sorry about that. Secondly, the studio is in a bit of disarray. This is not the studio, as you may have noticed. This is my workbench. This is a view you don't usually get. So I can show you, this is where I mount the camera, usually when I'm filming down onto soldering and that kind of stuff. And there's a desoldering gun. It's turned off, luckily. So this is the different room where I do this kind of top-down work, but the studio itself is a bit of a mess. Firstly, I'm installing a bit of new lighting. I've just got some uplight wash lights from behind the desk just to give a bit more colour to that back wall. I'm in the middle of wiring those in, and so there's one is a master, one's a slave. It's kind of complex. Second reason is I'm producing all the shipping labels and packing what turns out to be 20 items for the Team 17 auction and contest. So a bit of disarray this week, so I'm going to have to skip a week. And what was I going to say? Yes, the auction, we've raised about $1,200 for the Kenyan orphanage, which is Cura Orphanage in Nairobi. And then just all I'm taking off that is shipping costs, so I'm not going to make a penny, obviously, on it. I'll probably lose a few pennies, but yeah, we should be able to get them over $1,000, which is, it's less than I'd hoped, but it's still really nice, because that, if you think of that in Kenyan terms, that's going to keep those kids fed and housed for a long time. So I'm really happy about that. So thank you if you contributed separately. I know a couple of you did at the Cura Orphanage website. I'll put a link in this video just down below here. There's no cats, just the description. We might get a visit from Peri-phrastic if she decides to come in from the hallway, pointing backwards. Everything's back to front on my view of this. So yeah, we'll see if she shows up. Anyway, so this week has also been kind of fun because for the second, maybe third time ever, we had a video trending, and I posted the graph on the Patreon lens. And yeah, I thought this one might, because I've kind of been getting to understand the YouTube algorithms a lot more. And I said a couple of episodes ago on the vlog how basically there's two things you need. I won't go into all those details, but you've got to have a good snappy thumbnail and title to get people to click. And then after they click, you've got to have good content that keeps them watching for more than 50% of the time. So obviously that handheld Commodore 64 and Peri-phrastic, of course, is a good, that's very clickable. And I put out stuff that I would want to watch, so that I was really excited to get that out. But then I kept it interesting, and we had some fun, me and Peri-phrastic, and a few little bits, and some scripted, some not. So that kept people watching. And what happened was, within 1 hour, YouTube told me this is your number one out of the last 10 videos, in watch time for the first hour. And I thought, I know what's going to happen. I think at about 3 a.m. that night, the graph's just going to go zoop, because YouTube, I think, kind of readdressed their algorithms after 12, 18 hours, it seems to be. And lo and behold, I got up the next morning, and at around 3 a.m. it had gone zoop, that way. So yeah, another video trending on YouTube. I think now we're over 45,000 views in 5 days. But that's just amazing. That's mind-blowing. It just went down to number 2 out of the last 10 because the one C64 versus Mac is still the number 1, and that one by this point had 60,000 views, which is amazing as well. So yeah, good week for a breather, and this is why I'm bringing you the vlog, so I can keep you guys in touch. So yeah, the next thing is I just updated the goal on Patreon. So I had the last goal got met. Thank you. You are the reason that that goal got met. So this is where I get humble and I lose my words. So I just thank you so much. So I've set up the second goal. Here's what it says. So that's pretty interesting, isn't it? There's not much more I can say, but feel free to ask in the comments under this video on Patreon, and if I can answer, I will. So cheers to you guys for getting me to the first goal, and here's to the next big goal. From big goals to big gulps. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was the community page on Patreon. Just a quick thank you to all of you who've been using it. It's actually starting to become a nice little community. It was always nice, but it's actually starting to grow as a community, in that you guys will post things and other people will jump in, other patrons, with their feedback, and we're starting to get, sometimes 2, 4, 7 comments under posts. That's really nice. As I said in the last vlog, I just want this to be a nice, nostalgic, safe place where you guys can talk about anything positive to do with retro computing and nostalgia. And I definitely always contribute if I see a post there, and sometimes I post things as well. So between that and the Patreon lens, where I post updates, including the Pawn Stars one you might have seen yesterday evening, it's all shaping up really nicely. So thank you for that. Keep the posts coming in the community. And speaking of posts, well, kind of, just wanted to get your advice, really. So right now, I want to talk about websites. So I have Peri-phrastic.com, which obviously is for my retro recipe stuff, and on there is a little store. You can stream my music, you can contact me, and it shows ways to support the channel, keep it going. And then, but from my other kind of careers, acting, voice acting, and I have my novel, so writing as well. I had 3 other websites, I still have. So there's christiansimpson.com, which is my acting. There's chrisjsimpson.com, which was my pen name. That's for my writing. And then I have like a music one separately as well. Euromantics, like New Romantics, but so those are. But I now have 4 websites, and if I'm honest, I don't think people in the acting industry visit the websites that I have for that. If they want to book me for a voice job, like The Last Kingdom, I just did some narration on that 3 days ago for the new season of that for Netflix. They just email me because it's all word of mouth. But Peri-phrastic is really the one where I'm kind of out there, on the internet. And hello, I'm out here on the internet. And funny story, I got spotted in real life, like out in the real world for the first time through Peri-phrastic. I was having lunch with Puppy Phrastic and Lady Phrastic, and a guy came up and we'd interacted about the Amstrad PCW video, and he was like, hey, how are you? Of course, I had no visual memory of him because it was just a username. And then he reminded me what we chatted about. I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. And then rather awkwardly, we were sitting outside this cafe by the glass window, and his seat that he'd come out from was up on a high chair with his table here. So then he went back to his seat, and it was me, Lady Fractic, and this guy behind a plate of glass, but about this far away. And we wondered if he'd heard our prior conversation or not, which was kind of a funny one. So anyway, I'm definitely getting spotted, and someone else noticed me on, no, doesn't count really, but on Facebook, a completely unrelated group nothing to do with computing, retro computing, said, "Oh, are you Peri-phrastic? I love your videos. Are you the same one?" I said, "Yeah, I think I am. Let me check." But funny. So what I think makes sense is to converge the 4 websites and the 4 kind of things I do into one really snazzy website. And there's another reason, which is I used iWeb to make all of those, and now Apple are discontinuing iWeb with the introduction of Catalina, and I use Mac OS for my desktop computer, although I use Android, as you may have seen on some videos. Just flashing my credit card. I use Android for my phone, so I just like the flexibility of that. Oh, my mum's texted me. So, anyway, yeah, I'd like to converge everything and get off iWeb so I can upgrade to Catalina eventually when they iron out the bugs. So, problem is, and where I want your advice, I don't know a great way to do that because I have the 3 names. So when you go to christiansimpson.com, it says Christian Simpson at the top. Chris J. Simpson says the same. Euromantic says the same. Peri-phrastic says Retro Recipes with the logo. I suppose I could do, like an unnamed, so it doesn't have a big banner name, more like visuals. So it could be, like a nice photo kind of in the background, kind of fading into the text, kind of like on the Hulu interface, if you know that. Very smart, sleek, modern, and then just like a text, like, "Hey, my name's Christian, aka Peri-phrastic," and then on the side hamburger menu, has Retro Recipes. On the side hamburger menu, we could have, Retro Recipes, acting, music, contact, support, whatever, store. So that may be a way to do it, but I'm open to any fun ideas of how to kind of converge the 4 or 3 names and the careers into just one. Also, it's, on a personal level, it's nice for identity. You don't want to feel fragmented, like who am I? Am I the actor? Am I the... It's all just kind of entertainment. So, hey, maybe that's the way to do it. Just say entertainer. If I know I was entertaining. Well, anyway. Also, if any of you happen to be web designers and like really experienced with this stuff, and you can integrate a store into the group, into the website, maybe a forum even at some point in the future, reach out. I'd love to work with you or talk about some ideas. So there is one more thing. You'll notice in this footage that there is a white and blue table on the right, but no table matching on the left. And that's because I started with 2 tables, then I bought a third and kind of reconfigured things. And I realized with this new sofa perspective, it would make more sense to add another table on the left. However, I went back to IKEA's website and they just discontinued the blue one, meaning I could only buy white, which wouldn't match. So I went to Lowe's, it's kind of like Homebase if you're in England, got pretty close match of the spray paint, sprayed those metal parts on the white one, and lo and behold, look what we've got. I think that sums it up. I'm going to let you crack on. I'm going to crack on and to try and tidy up the studio, get everything shipped out, and then move on to the next video. I have a couple of ideas of which one I want to do first. I still have a list reaching into the year 2021, I'm not kidding. I have them all listed in kind of preference. I think I might crack on with the refurb of Abstract PC 1512, which was the last remaining computer that I had to reacquire from my childhood. It doesn't need much work, but I want to take you guys through setting it up, so that might be the next thing. If not, it'll be something really fun. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, comment below. Thanks for your ongoing support, and cheerio. No Peri-phrastic. Maybe I should get her. Say goodbye. Peri-phrastic. Yeah, the pitter patter of tiny feet. There we go. There she is. There's the baby. Alright, bye guys. Thanks for watching. And you missed all the fun and all the action. Yeah, you missed it. Where's that other dog? Alright, she's gone. Thanks guys. See you soon. Cheers.